In the glittering world of Hollywood, where dreams are manufactured and legends are born, there exists a truth that no amount of fame or fortune can shield us from. Behind the red carpets and standing ovations, beneath the magazine covers and box office triumphs, some of entertainment's most beloved icons are waging battles far more challenging than any role they've ever played. This is not a story about their greatest performances. This is the story of their greatest fight, the fight for life itself. In 2025, as the world watches and waits, these titans of stage and screen confront an enemy that recognizes no difference between the famous and the forgotten. From neurological disorders that steal precious memories to cancers that ravage the body, from rare syndromes that transform every movement into agony to accidents that shatter lives in an instant. These are the stories that remind us of our shared humanity. These are the battles fought not with scripts and stunts, but with courage and a determination that no camera can fully capture. This is their journey. This is their truth. The Grey's Anatomy heartthrob, the name Eric Dane, once meant something very specific to millions of viewers around the globe. Every Thursday night, audiences would tune in to watch him embody Jeter, Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy, the charming plastic surgeon whose magnetic presence could fill an entire operating room. His smile was infectious, his talent undeniable, and his connection with fans ran deep. He represented the kind of television doctor that made viewers believe in medicine, in healing, in the power of human connection within hospital walls. But in 2025, at just 53 years old, Eric Dane faces a reality far removed from the sterile hallways of Seattle Grace Hospital. He has been diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a devastating neurodegenerative disease that systematically destroys the nerve cells responsible for controlling voluntary muscle movement. Day by day, week by week, this merciless condition slowly robs him of his mobility, his strength, and his independence. The diagnosis came as a shock to the entertainment world. Here was a man who had spent years portraying a character, dedicated to perfecting the human form, now facing a disease that would relentlessly attack his own body. The irony was not lost on anyone, least of all Eric himself. Yet in the face of this incomprehensible challenge, he has chosen not to retreat into silence. Supported by his devoted family, he faces each new limitation with a courage that rivals any performance he ever gave on screen. The progression of ALS is cruel in its predictability. Muscles weaken, speech becomes difficult, swallowing grows challenging, and eventually, even breathing requires mechanical assistance. For someone whose career depended on physical presence and vocal delivery, the implications are staggering. But Eric Dane refuses to be defined solely by his diagnosis. His resilience has become a beacon for others fighting similar battles, and his willingness to share his journey has sparked important conversations about neurodegenerative diseases and the urgent need for research funding. As fans watch this beloved actor navigate terrain more treacherous than any storyline, they are reminded that true strength isn't found in fictional heroics, but in the daily determination to face impossible odds with grace and dignity. The pop icon's invisible enemy, Justin Timberlake's name, has been synonymous with perfection for decades. From his early days as a boy band sensation to his evolution into one of pop music's most innovative artists, he has represented the pinnacle of entertainment excellence. His performances were legendary: the razor-sharp choreography, the flawless vocals, the seemingly inexhaustible energy that could command stages across continents. He was the artist who made the impossible look effortless. Then came the revelation that shocked his global fan base. Justin Timberlake has been battling Lyme disease, a tick-borne illness that can wreak havoc on the human body in ways both visible and invisible. While the world saw only the polished performances and red carpet appearances, behind the scenes he was fighting chronic fatigue so profound it made simply getting out of bed a Herculean task. He struggled with joint pain, cognitive difficulties, and a crushing exhaustion that no amount of rest could alleviate. Lyme disease is particularly insidious because it often goes undiagnosed for months or even years. The bacteria can spread throughout the body, affecting the heart, nervous system, and joints. For an artist whose career depends on physical stamina and mental clarity, the diagnosis was devastating. How does someone who has built an empire on boundless energy cope when that very energy is stolen by microscopic invaders? Yet Justin has continued to push forward. Living with his wife and children, he has sought cutting-edge treatments while simultaneously trying to maintain some semblance of his former schedule. The strain is evident to those who know him well. The performances now require more preparation, more recovery time. The recording sessions are shorter. The public appearances are more carefully managed. But still, he perseveres. His openness about his condition has been a gift to the countless others suffering in silence with Lyme disease. By using his platform to raise awareness, he has helped legitimize an illness that is too often dismissed or minimized by medical professionals. His journey is a testament to the fact that even those who seem invincible, who appear to have conquered the world, can be brought low by something invisible to the naked eye. The Dawson's Creek icon fights back for an entire generation. James Van Der Beek was the face of adolescent longing and romantic idealism. As Dawson Leary on Dawson's Creek, he captured the confusion, passion, and heartbreak of teenage life with such authenticity that fans felt they were growing up alongside him. His boyish charm and genuine talent made him a household name, and his character's emotional vulnerability connected with millions of viewers navigating their own coming-of-age journeys. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and James Van Der Beek is fighting a battle far more serious than any teenage drama. At 48 years old, he has been diagnosed with colorectal cancer, a disease that claims thousands of lives each year. The diagnosis came as a thunderbolt to an actor who had maintained an active lifestyle and seemed the picture of health. Suddenly, instead of memorizing scripts and blocking scenes, he was learning medical terminology, understanding treatment protocols, and preparing for the physical and emotional toll of fighting cancer. Colorectal cancer requires aggressive treatment: surgery to remove tumors, chemotherapy to kill remaining cancer cells, radiation to target specific areas. Each intervention comes with its own set of challenges and side effects. The fatigue is overwhelming. The nausea is relentless. The uncertainty about the future is perhaps the heaviest burden of all. For someone with a wife and children depending on him, the weight of the diagnosis extends far beyond his own mortality. But James has chosen transparency over privacy. By sharing his experience openly with his fans, he has broken down the stigma often associated with this particular type of cancer. He has encouraged others, particularly younger people who might not think they're at risk, to pay attention to warning signs and seek medical attention. His advocacy has potentially saved lives, and his courage in the face of such a terrifying diagnosis has inspired countless others walking similar paths. As he undergoes intensive treatment and navigates the ups and downs of recovery, James Van Der Beek demonstrates that real heroism has nothing to do with cameras or applause. It's found in the quiet determination to keep fighting when giving up would be so much easier. The Baywatch beauty's breast cancer battle, Nicole Eggert's face defined an era. As one of the iconic lifeguards on Baywatch, she represented the sun-soaked California dream that captivated audiences worldwide. Her youthful energy, stunning looks, and girl next door charm made her a fixture in pop culture throughout the 1990s. She was the embodiment of vitality, running across beaches in slow motion, saving lives, and making it all look glamorous. In 2025, at 53 years old, Nicole faces her own life-threatening emergency, one that no amount of CPR training could prepare her for. She has been diagnosed with stage 2 cribriform breast cancer, a particularly aggressive form of the disease that requires immediate and intensive treatment. The diagnosis forces a woman who once represented peak physical fitness to confront her own mortality in ways she never imagined. Breast cancer treatment is a grueling process. The surgical options alone are overwhelming: lumpectomy versus mastectomy, reconstruction versus going flat, immediate versus delayed procedures. Then comes chemotherapy, with its hair loss, nausea, and profound fatigue. Radiation therapy follows, burning the skin and causing lasting damage to healthy tissue. Throughout it all, there's the psychological warfare of wondering whether every ache, every pain, every unusual sensation signals the cancer's return. Nicole lives independently, which adds another layer of complexity to her treatment journey. There's no spouse to drive her to appointments when she's too weak from chemo. There's no partner to help her drain surgical sites or change dressings. She faces this battle with the support of friends and medical professionals, but ultimately, she walks this path largely alone. Her courage in these circumstances is nothing short of remarkable. By sharing glimpses of her struggle and recovery with her fans, Nicole has become an advocate for early detection and regular screenings. She reminds women everywhere that breast cancer doesn't discriminate based on how fit you are, how healthy your lifestyle is, or how young you look. It's a disease that can strike anyone at any time without warning. Her journey from Baywatch lifeguard to cancer warrior demonstrates that sometimes the most important rescues are the ones we perform on ourselves. The quiet dignity of Cullen's fight. In the pantheon of Hollywood talent, there are those who burn bright and fast, and then there are those whose steady, consistent excellence defines entire decades. Cullen falls into the latter category, a professional whose career has been built on remarkable performances across genres, from period dramas to contemporary thrillers. At 52 years old, he seemed to be at the peak of his powers, with decades of potential work ahead of him. Then came the prostate cancer diagnosis that changed everything. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers affecting men, yet it remains surrounded by silence and stigma. Many men refuse to discuss it, refusing to undergo the screenings that could catch it early, avoiding conversations about a disease that attacks such an intimate part of their anatomy. This silence can be deadly. Cullen chose a different path. He underwent surgery to remove the cancerous tissue, followed by additional treatments designed to ensure no cancer cells remained. The procedures are invasive, the recovery is lengthy, and the potential side effects can be life-altering. But surrounded by his loving family, he approached each phase of treatment with remarkable dignity and determination. His willingness to speak openly about his prostate cancer diagnosis has been a gift to other men facing similar battles. By removing the shame and secrecy often associated with this disease, he has encouraged others to get screened, to ask questions, to advocate for their own health. His transparency has quite literally saved lives. As he continues his recovery, Cullen serves as a reminder that vulnerability is not weakness. Sharing our struggles, admitting our fears, and accepting help from others are not signs of failure. They are fundamental acts of human courage. The voice that echoes through pain. When Celine Dion opens her mouth to sing, something transcendent happens. Her voice doesn't just carry a tune, it carries emotion, memory, hope, and the full spectrum of human experience. For decades, she filled stadiums, captivated millions, and created a catalog of songs that defined the soundtrack of countless lives. Her voice was more than an instrument, it was a force of nature. In 2025, at 57 years old, that extraordinary voice is being held hostage by a cruel and rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. This devastating condition causes progressive muscle stiffness and painful spasms that can affect the entire body. Imagine trying to sing when your muscles are locked in constant tension. Imagine trying to perform when every movement brings waves of pain. Imagine being unable to control your own body, the very instrument through which you've expressed your artistry for your entire life. Stiff person syndrome is so rare that many doctors go their entire careers without encountering a case. There is no cure. Treatment focuses on managing symptoms, but even with the best medical care, daily life becomes an exhausting series of challenges. Simple tasks that the rest of us take for granted. Getting dressed, preparing a meal, climbing stairs, become monumental undertakings. Celine lives with her family, drawing strength from their love and support as she pursues every possible treatment option. She has tried various medications, undergone experimental therapies, and worked with specialists around the world. Her determination to regain some mobility, to reclaim some piece of the life she once knew, is both heartbreaking and inspiring. Fans who once watched her command stages with such power and grace now witness her struggle with the most basic physical functions. The contrast is almost unbearable. Yet Celine's spirit remains unbroken. Her artistic brilliance, her connection to her music, and her fundamental essence as an artist endure even as her body betrays her. Her battle with stiff person syndrome has brought unprecedented attention to this rare disorder, potentially accelerating research and improving outcomes for others diagnosed in the future. Even in her suffering, she continues to give. The action hero's final battle, Bruce Willis, is synonymous with the action genre itself. From the moment he emerged from an air duct in Die Hard, bloodied, barefoot, and utterly fearless, he redefined what an action hero could be. He wasn't a muscle-bound superhero. He was an everyman pushed to extraordinary circumstances. His John McClane was vulnerable, frightened, and in over his head, yet somehow he always found a way to prevail. For decades, Bruce Willis was the man who simply would not quit. In 2025, at 70 years old, Bruce Willis faces an enemy that cannot be defeated with wit, determination, or sheer willpower. He has been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia, conditions that are systematically destroying his ability to communicate, to remember, and ultimately, to recognize the people he loves most in the world. Frontotemporal dementia is particularly cruel because it often strikes people in their 50s and 60s, years when they should still be vital and active. Unlike Alzheimer's disease, which primarily affects memory, frontotemporal dementia attacks personality, behavior, and language. The person you've known and loved your entire life can become unrecognizable, not because their body has changed, but because the fundamental essence of who they are is being erased, neuron by neuron. The aphasia component of Bruce's diagnosis means he struggles to find words, to construct sentences, to express the thoughts still present in his mind. For an actor whose career was built on memorable one-liners and commanding screen presence, the loss of language is especially devastating. The man who once captivated audiences with his delivery of "yep, ki, yay" can no longer reliably string words together. His family has made long-term care arrangements, recognizing that Bruce will require increasing levels of support as the disease progresses. He now receives constant care, surrounded by loved ones who are determined to make his remaining time as comfortable and dignified as possible. They share memories of who he was, even as they grieve the person he's becoming. For fans worldwide, watching Bruce Willis's decline is agonizing. This was the man who seemed invincible, who took on terrorists and criminals and supernatural threats without breaking a sweat. Seeing him rendered vulnerable by a disease that attacks the very core of identity forces us all to confront the reality that no one, no matter how tough, how successful, how beloved, is immune to the ravages of neurological disease. His legacy in film remains untouchable, a testament to decades of brilliant work. But his current battle reminds us that even heroes are, in the end, simply human. The ongoing battles Alan Alda continues to defy expectations at 89, managing his Parkinson's disease with grace and humor. The legendary MASH star shares insights about living with the condition, educating others while demonstrating that life can continue even with a degenerative disorder. His wit and brilliance remain sharp, inspiring everyone who watches his journey. Lily Reinhart, the Riverdale star, faces chronic battles with interstitial cystitis and immune system struggles at just 29. Her transparency about invisible illnesses has sparked crucial conversations among young people about chronic pain and the importance of self-advocacy in healthcare. Billy Porter's brush with sepsis in 2025 forced him to step back from his beloved cabaret performances, but his determination to recover and return to the stage showcases the resilience that has defined his entire career. Dolph Lundgren fights kidney cancer with the same discipline that made him an action star. Kathy Bates battles cancer and lymphedema while remaining an inspiring Hollywood figure. Magda Subanski confronts stage 4 mantle cell lymphoma with courage. These warriors refuse to let illness define them. Elton John navigates partial vision loss after a severe eye infection, yet continues creating and performing. Miriam Margolyes engages with fans despite heart surgery and spinal mobility issues. Michael J. Fox uses a wheelchair in public appearances, but continues his Parkinson's advocacy with undiminished passion. Jessie J shares her early-stage breast cancer journey, facing surgery complications with remarkable strength. Teddy Mellencamp battles stage 4 melanoma with brain and lung metastasis, undergoing surgery, radiation, and immunotherapy while inspiring others with her determination. Mike Wolfe and Letitia Klein fight to recover from a devastating car accident that left both hospitalized with severe injuries. Dan Marino manages metabolic dysfunction-associated steatosis with lifestyle changes. Billy Joel addresses normal pressure hydrocephalus, postponing performances to focus on treatment. These are not just the stories of celebrities facing health crises. These are stories about the fundamental human experience, about vulnerability and courage, about fear and hope, about the battles we all face, famous or not. When the spotlight fades and the cameras stop rolling, we are all simply human beings trying to navigate a world that can be beautiful and cruel in equal measure. Every person featured in this documentary has given us more than entertainment over the years. They have given us memories, emotions, and moments of connection. Now, as they face their greatest challenges, they give us something even more valuable. They give us truth. They remind us that health is fragile, that life is precious, and that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about being terrified and moving forward anyway. Their willingness to share these deeply personal battles breaks down stigma, encourages early detection, and inspires others facing similar diagnoses. Their stories save lives, not through the roles they played on screen, but through the example they set in real life. As we close this chapter, we're reminded that these battles continue. Treatment continues. Recovery continues. Hope continues. And the human spirit, that remarkable, resilient force that allows us to face impossible odds with determination, continues to shine through, even in the darkest moments. If these stories moved you, if these battles inspired you, then help us spread awareness by subscribing to our channel. Hit that subscribe button and join our community dedicated to sharing important stories that matter. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these celebrity health battles affected you most deeply and why? Have you or someone you love faced similar challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.